Doesn't take. You did it. She
I
did it.
did
See?
it.
She did it. Okay. Hello, guys. It is Tom Sewing, our weekly dose, and this is our first anniversary episode. We have been doing this for a whole year.
I know it's crazy. It's funny when we first come up with the idea a year ago and we're like, sure. And then we're going, how are we going to come up with so many ideas? And we figured we'd get like through 2 months and run out.
I have reams of paper for other episodes here.
So we've come up with like a lot of really good ideas and we've had a lot of fun learning things and sharing our knowledge. And he's making faces back again.
Yes, and okay. That's the other thing. We have an audience today.
We had an audience, so it's going to be lots of fun. So it's kind of a little bit different than our usual. We have Tom and Kerri with us today.
Yes.
The brains, the figurehead. And Bank's the owner.
So we're going to have some fun. We got an audience here that's going to give us a bit of feedback or just laugh at us. Probably just laugh at us. And so let's start off with our usual.
Yep.
Oh, we can. Hey, everyone say hello.
Yeah.
There's them, they didn't think that we were imagining
That's
people.
right. Yeah. Yes. Right. Yeah. We want people to know there is someone here.
There's 27 people out there.
Maybe we can't see them all because I'm having trouble with it.
Someone's got their
Yes,
imaginary
exactly.
friends here.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll go through the announcements.
Yes, let's do
Just
the announcements and then
and
we'll
then
get our fun stuff.
Get on to our fun stuff. So Customer Appreciation Day here in Surrey is December the 7th. Got a lot of fun classes coming up.
We do. And we got
And
the elf coming
yes, we have an elf coming. I'm gonna wear my little hat.
and Annette.
My hat.
So,
And then that in Country Folk, it is on December the 6th. In Surrey,
it's on
December
the
the 7th.
come, we're gonna have some treats. We've got elf, we've got lots of free classes, we've got games. Do we have games?
We're gonna
I
have
think we talked
games.
about games
Mhm.
and prizes. And then that, so it's gonna be
We'll be
lots
here.
of fun. Both out in Chilliwack and here.
Yes,
So
well, no,
the-
we'll only be here.
Yeah, we'll only be here and the elf will only be here
Yeah.
because he has to work.
Yes.
Santa
this-
won't give him the Friday off.
No, some
Um,
they're funny that way. Demo December is funnily enough in November on the 30th.
We were so full with stuff to do.
Yeah,
in
right, we couldn't
December.
fit it
just
in. We couldn't fit it in.
So we've got Demo December. It is embroidery based. So
Yep.
you don't have to know anything about embroidery to come. It's if you're interested in learning about embroidery, come. We've got to demo a bunch of new tools that are both for embroidery, but can also be used outside of embroidery. And then you come and you get a free pattern from Kimberbell. So
Pattern is embroidery.
the pattern is embroidery. So that's going to be fun. That's on November 30th. That's here. And then what day is it out in Chilliwack?
Same day.
Oh, same day.
Yeah.
So it's on November 30th, either here or in Chilliwack.
Yes. Yeah. The No Peaky Christmas tree will be here in Surrey on November the 16th. And
But we only have half your face.
well, that's okay. They know what it looks like. The folded, they've all seen me before. The folded star will be in Country Folk on November the 22nd and Quilt As You Go November the 8th in those are placemats, they're really lovely. November the 8th.
So as usual, just check out the calendar on the website.
Yes.
It'll have all the update on classes. We've got actually new classes being put in there for January,
Yep.
February.
February, yep.
Some of them have already sold out.
Yes, that's right. Yep, yep.
And then and then we've got some new classes that are going to be popped in there.
Absolutely. Yeah. So big on classes. So
I think that's it.
we went through that pretty quickly, but just so we can get to the fun part here.
Yes. Yes. We're gonna have some fun. Okay, so we figured today would be fun it's a chance to ask us some questions. And we're putting a disclaimer that you guys know Tom.
Most of you have met him.
The reason the rest of us laugh so much
This
is
is true.
because it comes from the top down.
Yep.
It's lots of fun. So,
Yes.
okay, so we've got questions. We're going to alternate asking questions and it's for the panel here. That's why we have a panel. And
And the audience can pipe in and ask something more if they like, and
Yeah.
we'll just.
yeah,
Or if
so
you just,
Or if they don't like the answer.
yes.
Maybe they have
true.
better
Or if
answer.
we didn't answer it to your satisfaction, I suppose you can just like,
okay, so this one, I want all of us to answer this question. So it just kind of gives a basis. So what was the first thing you ever sewed or got you kind of started in sewing? We'll go
Carrie,
and,
yeah, okay, this one.
yeah.
Very first thing I ever sewed, actually, I had to think about this. It was an A-line princess dress in home ec class in grade 9. And that just got me started. Mind you, it wasn't as fun as it turned out to be once I wasn't under a teacher. But because yeah, whatever. Just school being what school is. But yeah, that was my first thing, and it's just gone on from there.
Wait, well, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and she, for extra work, she helped sew skating costumes. So my first sewing was I got to do all the rolled hems around the bottom of the skating skirts, and then from there, I wanted to do more. So I made like rag dolls and different things like that, and me and my mom would go to craft fairs and sell them. So that's how we started.
Until Deborah spoke, I had blocked out home ec class. Technically, I guess in my first project was a really ugly tie-dyed t-shirt out of cotton non-stretch fabric that
Oh.
everybody threw out after we got our marks. At that point, never thought I would have anything to do with sewing. Once I got into the industry, my first project was I did a shirt class, and then I did a jacket class. I did an heirloom serge nightie class because there's not many other options for heirloom serging. And then I did a quilting class, and that's what I fell in love with. So I quilt. I don't do clothes.
So if you want an heirloom nightie, don't go to Tom.
That's
Even though
right,
he
yeah,
can't
because
do it,
that's
he's
not,
doing it anymore.
no.
Okay, so I've been a crafter all my life. And so when I was a teenager, my mom was not a crafter. I wanted to sew a short and t-shirt or top outfit. And so I bought the pattern, and my mom's like, oh no, you can't do that. You don't know what you're doing. So I did it just to prove my mother wrong. And I did. I sewed it together knowing nothing, and the instructions like really made no sense. I got it put together, and I managed to wear it a couple of times before it fell apart. But we don't mention that. And then after that, I mean, I've sewn dresses, I've sewed a bunch of things. And then when I met Tom and Kerri a while back, that's kind of when I got into doing more quilting and going from there. So, but yeah, it's so started with not knowing what I'm doing, and then now we think we know what we're doing.
Yeah, there you go, because there's always more, right? Okay, I have a question for Tom. How did you become a sewing machine tech, and when was that?
Well, that's a case of wrong place, wrong time. So it actually would be back in '96 is when I started. That was my first bout with cancer, and coming out of that, I was newly single, newly unemployed, and newly starting everything over from scratch, living in little town Powell River. My sister was the Western sales rep for Elna Canada, and she knew a place down here in the Lower Mainland that was looking to hire somebody to start working in the service department. So I applied and got the job and moved down here. And very shortly after, that was '96, very shortly after that, I realized if I was going to be decent as a tech, I had to learn how to sew. So that's how the shirt class and the jacket class and the nightie class came about. So, equal opportunity, right?
Oh, the nightie.
And so then did that working for other places, wholesalers for a couple of years, and in the industry, and nobody really wanted to pay enough to survive in the Lower Mainland because it's a tad expensive down here. So I decided if I was going to stay in the industry, I had to set up my own shop and get going and do it that way. So 2001, I went out on my own, started servicing in my garage. that was February of 2001, I started. March was the sewing and craft show, and I rented a 10 by 10 booth. I had a little 6-foot table, a chair, fold up chair. Back in the days, we had the daytimers, like the fold out daytimers, and I booked service calls. I had a little 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that said Tom Sewing Machine. We have more than one machine now out there. So, and I had it illegally pinned to the curtain in the back. Didn't know you were allowed to pin to the curtain back then. And I booked service calls. And then I think it was about April, I sub-rented a little bit of warehouse space back on 129th Street. And is this where you want me to talk about the growing process, or is that another question?
Well, there's another question,
That's
but
another-
if you're honest.
If you're on that roll, go with it.
History-wise,
Yeah.
Kerri and I had met, and so we started growing. It became to the point where we needed some help, so her mom came in to help a bit in the warehouse, answering phones and people when they'd come to the door and stuff like that. And eventually we got to the point where we needed a full-time person. So it became, okay, Kerri, either you gotta quit your job and come work for the business, or we have to hire somebody. And so she reluctantly agreed to come work at the business under the caveat that she would not be teaching classes or lessons, demoing sewing machines, or doing anything other than answering the phone, ordering stuff, and ringing up sales, because she's shy. Back
See,
then she was really shy.
She was.
Now she is like a local expert on
Yes,
so many categories that
Yeah.
she solves problems for everybody. She
Mhm.
just knows so much information out there. She keeps me on my toes. Then in 2008, in 2005, we became a Singer dealer earlier on. Then in 2005, we got Janome. And then 2008, we bought Country Folk Fabric in Chilliwack. 2013, we bought Burnaby Sewing Center. 2008, the beginning of 2008, we bought Country Folk. At the end of 2008, it was August, I think, we moved from the warehouse to Scott Road. There was a little jog up there. 2012, we burned down, moved next door to the bigger store. 2013, we bought Burnaby. 2021, we moved here.
Yep.
So we're coming up on 3 years here in January. And,
Yeah, been quite a road.
so, and our kids have grown up through the business, and Sean and Kira both work here. He's working on sewing machines. He's been helping us for years servicing the school machines, and he works on weekends and Pro D days and days off here. Kira works on weekends and Pro D days here as well. And she's even getting quite knowledgeable on the front. She enters a lot of stuff in the computer and the website side of stuff and organizes stuff. She's got quite the color selection. Sean doesn't have the color selection, but he's pretty good on the computerized and the basic machines and stuff. We haven't got him onto sergers yet, but
That's
considering it's only part-time, it takes years to get
Give him
there,
time.
so.
Give him time.
He's gonna be 3D printing them before.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So kind of a follow-up with the first question. So what got us started? Now, where is your focus with your sewing? Like where you started now, where are you at now?
Well, I have to say I left garment sewing behind about 15 years ago once I started quilting. And then when I got into embroidery, well, that just set off a whole other thing. I am definitely into embroidery. It is a big thing for me. I love watching. I still don't get tired of watching that machine do its thing. I'm so fascinated by the fact that something that goes straight makes circles while I'm sitting there watching it. I mean, it just watching the art, it just, and I like the sound of the machines. I like the sound of the sewing machine. It's,
Yeah.
that's not, it's
Not
not
that
what mine
sound.
does. No. When they're running smoothly
Yes.
and they've been cared for.
That's what we were talking about. It is that rhythm sound is
Yes.
very soothing.
Yeah, it is.
And
It
you're
really is.
great, and it's just going along, and you're nice and relaxed, and then all of a sudden you hit something and it goes boom, 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 boom. Then your heart rate goes up.
I even enjoy watching videos of other people sewing, like just hearing the machine and watching the process. It's just,
Isn't that like the kids watching other kids play video games on YouTube?
no, it's not the same thing.
My day, those were the kids with the quarters.
That sounds so sad. Your turn.
Question again?
Oh,
So what do you like to do? Like if you can sit down and sew in your free time?
yeah.
What do you like to do? Like where's your focus now?
It's always been doing embroidered quilts. My very first quilt is actually embroidered. I embroidered Sunbonnet Sue's and then I turned it into a quilt. So I was fascinated from the embroidery machines from the first one we brought in. So, and that was a long time ago. So
In the cul-de-sac. I remember it.
2004.
Yeah. the old Singer XL
XL
5000.
yeah.
So, yeah, so
Had fishing rod reels on it that spun the thread back up
Yeah.
and the other one would wind down and thread itself. And then you put the thread on the one that you just took off and then it would switch over.
So right now I'm doing another embroidered quilt, but the one before this, I've done a couple of piece quilts, so it kind of is a mix, but probably my most love is taking these embroidered blocks and turning them into quilts, so.
I'm a quilter, piecer, and I like straight edges. So I cannot do curved piecing in my brain. It hurts when people do drunkard's path. And I also cannot do scrappy quilts. That hurts my brain too.
Yeah.
Everything has to be themed for my brain.
Yeah.
I like vibrant color, I like clearer color, and to my prints and but it's all straight edges, bright turning, no curves.
No curves. No curves.
My is embroidery. I got back when I would visit Kerri and she had that embroidery machine. That was my dream, was an embroidery machine, because
Probably my fault.
it was your fault. Like
My fault for a change.
Ramon calls you guys my dealer. Like if I'm on the phone to Kerri, is going, now what is she
There
trying?
are several
Yeah.
referring to me that way. so.
Like, are you talking to her as your friend or as your dealer? You don't want to know, just. Shh. So that's kind of where I first really wanted to get into this kind of sewing. And so I do love embroidery. The quilts, yes, I do, but I like making a lot more of the home decor stuff with the quilts and using a lot of different mediums. That being said, I'm also trying to expand and get more knowledge and learn more with piece quilting, because I'm almost liking that. And so trying to merge the two with background quilting. So I'm exploring lots of things. I'm, multiple personalities, which we've already discussed.
The rabbit hole is deep.
It is
that-
Well, like I said, we have no problem taking anybody to the dark side.
Yeah, it's,
We have cookies.
We do. We do.
and fabric. Just mix the two.
Okay.
Well, so, again, Tom, if you can walk us through why it can take so long to get a machine fixed or serviced.
From
Okay.
you guys.
Yes.
So this is kind of a complicated question, but people get frustrated when we tell them it's such a long wait time. And our wait time is getting better. I think we're 4 or 5 weeks now. But we do a complete job. We don't, I don't know if we have a beep up button, but we don't have beep the job.
I don't have
Okay?
a big button.
So, we've spent a lot of time on training and certification with the wholesalers and manufacturers. so that we're doing things properly. We also use the appropriate and proper parts when we're doing replacement of stuff. But you have to remember, we don't get paid until you get your machine back. So we really want them back to you as fast as possible as well, right? So it's the goal. But we don't want to give you back something that isn't done right, because it's not going to work for you and it's just coming back anyway. A friend had a saying, she was a teacher, and said, if you don't have time to do it right, what makes you think you have time to do it again? And so if we're 3/4 of the way through a machine and we see that something isn't working quite right, and we have to take the machine all the way back down to its bones again to get to that piece, then that's what we do. We don't just look at it and go, they probably don't use that feature or that function anyway. They'll never know. I'm just going to finish it off and send it out the door. And because of that, we've built up a reputation. Like, we still have people that bring their machine here from Alberta every year for a service rather than take it to dealers out there. We get machines from all over Western Canada. We do over 1,400 school service machines this summer, on top of the regular machines coming in. So they're coming in from anywhere and everywhere. At any given point in time, we have 150 to 200 machines waiting in line. And then we have our same day service bookings, right? So you're booking it in for the machine is still working. It's not broken, but you're doing maintenance on it. We have a couple hundred of those in line at any given point in time too. So we've got a lot coming in, but we have, 3 full-time techs and 1 part-time tech, being Sean, the part-time one, working nonstop, fixing machines all day long, 5, or in my case, 6 days a week. So it takes time to do it right. And like I said, that saying, if you don't have time to do it right, what makes you think you're gonna have time to do it again?
Yeah.
And so we'd rather do less, but do them right, than get a bunch out, but have people not be happy about them.
Absolutely.
And that's where we build trust. It's over the years, because that is the way you take and service the machines. That's why people keep coming back and tell everybody, it's like, oh, you need to take it here, you need to take, to Tom's, because they know it's going to get serviced right. They know that there is expertise behind it, that you guys have had training from Husqvarna, Juno, all those kind of things. And you got that support from the companies themselves, that if you do happen to run into an issue, you've got that backup support. And so when it comes back to them, you guys are human, so you might be the odd thing, but you stand behind it. You have the warranties.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, we're not perfect.
Exactly.
Mistakes happen, and that's where warranty kicks in.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
All right. So
You?
me. Okay. So this is for the 3 of us, because Tom already kind of answered this question. So how long have you worked at Tom's?
It's day 1.
Okay.
Not for you. I'm heading into my 7th year. I kind of got let go at one job, and I think I came in here one day kind of moaning and crying about it. And she gave me a call a couple of days later.
You want to work
So
a couple
just-
hours a week?
Yes, a couple hours.
That's how they get you.
I know. It started out at 3 days a week, 3 to 4 hours a day. Yeah, it's now 5 days a week. So, but hey, I love
Don't
it here.
forget about COVID.
Well, I had just sat down to have my lunch because I'd been to visit a sick friend. There's this message from Kerri, and it's saying, we're going to find out just how much you love us. Can you come back to work? Can you come in right now? Don't call, just show up and you're willing to do it. And that's when it just kind of bloomed. Yeah, I came, I just showed up, and it was crazy during COVID. All I did was write down a message, hang up the phone. Oh, another one. Take down a message and pass them out. Here, you do this, you do this. That's what I did for weeks. Yeah.
That's
So
a good thing. No, we get a lot of people just call over and over and over again and don't leave a message. And then when they do get through, they're like, nobody answers the phone, and it just goes to the message machine. It goes to the message machine because we're on
the
phone.
phone.
So leave a message. We answer them.
Yes, and while I'm taking down messages, I can hear the phone beeping in my ear. And I missed the number, so I have to go back and hear. So yeah, we get a lot of phone calls. We do.
Okay, so Tom kind of answered for you, but you can give more
Yeah.
information.
I don't remember what year it was.
2002, partway through 2002 or 2003. I think your mom worked for about 6 months before it just got to be so much so that we needed more.
Long time.
Long time.
Long time. There you go, long time.
Before kids, everything.
Yes.
All my kids grew up here, so.
No, it would have been after 2003.
Was it after we got? Yeah, it's after
it
we
was
got
after we got
married.
married. So
Oh,
Yeah,
we knew each other and we were
Oh,
we were
I
dating.
helped you with the books
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
but I didn't actually come in the store. That's right. But once we had kids, we had like the crib here, like.
Well,
I
yeah,
know
see,
about
that's
that,
when-
yeah.
so,
That was in the
For you.
supply closet.
Yeah.
They had the
yes,
crib.
we did. So this would have been back on the cul-de-sac, so
Yeah.
way back. Ramon come in, because he'd lost his job, and so he come in and started helping with servicing for a little bit, but he's not tech savvy. It's not a strong point. There's a lot of things he's got,
He
tech
doesn't
savvy.
watch this program, does he?
Yeah, he does, but that's
Oh.
okay. He knows.
We love you, Ramon.
Yes.
He knows, he tries, and he can figure it out, but it's not his strong point. He's got other strong points, but so I ended up coming in and helping with accounting, and so it would have been roughly about the time our two little ones, your oldest, my youngest. So this would have been 17 years ago. We would be upstairs in the office, and the two little ones would be either in the crib. So in the classroom, there was the classroom spot, and then there was the toys in the corner. And so between the two of us, we were in the office and watching the children for a while and back and forth. And so, yeah, so it's been a good, because Macy turns 18 and Sean turned 18. So it's been a good 18 years and they haven't been able to get rid of me yet.
So we have a tendency to hang around.
We do, and it's a growth. Like, I mean, it went from, helping in the office, and then so to now, I teach classes. I'm considered an expert in some things. I do this now, I'm like an internet sensation. Hasn't gone to my head at all, but yeah, so we do a
So-
lot of things, and then so it's been a lot of fun. And
Next, another question for Tom. I have to get my phone ready.
I'm feeling good, Tom.
Do you? Okay, already good. How many days until Christmas, and how do you know this off the top of your head?
I
Oh,
knew this one.
hold
What
on.
was it again?
You said it 10 minutes ago.
48 days till Christmas, 48 sleeps till Christmas. How do I know? Well,
He's right.
when you get asked 6 to 10 times a day, how many days till Christmas? The answer is one less than yesterday.
here we thought I was gonna do some.
Yes.
Yeah.
Christmas is my holiday. It's my only holiday. And honestly, growing up, my dad looks like the
Santa.
Coke bottle. Santa Claus.
Absolutely.
He
Yes,
does.
he
Close
does.
your eyes and picture the Coke bottle Santa Claus. That's what my dad looks like, 365 days a year.
Even out of when
Even out of costume,
yeah, you
yes.
look at him and the first thing you think of is Santa Claus.
Yes.
And so our kids grew up with Grandpa Santa, because your
That's
kids
what he's
call
called.
Grandpa Santa and stuff. And it was so funny because he had to have surgery or whatever, and he'd shaved his beard. And you guys were in the townhouse, and so we were over. I had Isabella with us, and your dad came in and he started talking down the stairs. And so Isabella's all excited, Grandpa Santa's here, Grandpa Santa's here. And he comes up the stairs and he's got like no beard. And
It looks wrong.
it
Yeah.
did. That girl suffered trauma because
Yes.
she's like, go grow it back, because it scared her.
The first time I saw him without a beard, it was, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not
something's
right.
not right.
It's not right, yeah.
When I was 6 or 7, he worked, he retired as a heavy duty mechanic, but then back then he worked in the steam plant at the pulp and paper mill. And they changed the policy and they all had to be able to wear a face sitting respirator. So he had to shave his
Yeah.
beard and mustache off. Well, Christmas morning, we all got up and we did Christmas and everything. And then after we'd open presents as kids and that, we started playing and everybody starts to go shower and do their get ready for the day. Well, He shaved off his beard and mustache. He came out of the bathroom. I didn't know who he was. Like, I didn't recognize my own dad. I'd never seen him without a beard and mustache. But
Yeah, no, it's not right.
it just looks wrong. Although one time, after he got into the heavy duty mechanic, he decided to shave the mustache off. Kept the whole beard. He looked like Papa Smurf. So
He grew it back?
he grew up. My stepmom loved his beard and mustache, and a couple of years ago, he decided after Christmas to shave it all off one time again. And he came out of the bathroom and she told him to go back in there and put it back on. She basically wouldn't talk to him until he put it back.
Oh, the poor man.
Okay, so this question is for you and me, because her answer would be, because I love my husband. Okay, so what is our favorite part of working at Tom's?
Just one?
Well, whatever.
Okay.
Okay, it
well,
is, we'd like to keep it under
okay,
like
alright.
6 hours.
So, well, there's fabric and sewing machines here. That kind of goes without saying. It feeds my addiction. The other part of it is Tom's sense of humor. I crack up with his jokes. He saves jokes to share with me because, well, not everybody laughs at his jokes, but I do.
Never laugh. Kerri does not.
Exactly. I find it's
She rolls
absolutely,
her eyes, she laughs.
I can't help but laugh. They're funny.
I think
And how can you not enjoy working in an environment like that? Like it's fun. Everybody is fun to be around. And it
this will be
is.
on your paycheck.
You paid me to say all this. No, it's just, like it's a place that can feed my addiction and, he's funny.
See, it's her that starts it.
That's it.
She's uncontrollable with
No,
laughing.
somebody has to say it first.
Okay, so I enjoy, or what I love about working for Tom's and Kerri, is the environment here. It is a very family type environment,
Yeah.
and that we care for each other. We've gone through a lot of ups and downs throughout the years. From the fire we've had,
That was a fun year.
that was a fun year, actually.
Mhm.
We've had some staff members that we've lost.
Yep.
But, it's just, there is a closeness here that you don't usually get between staff members and even customers.
Yeah,
then
exactly.
that.
People who come in. Yeah, absolutely.
36 moms.
Only 30, yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot.
20 big sisters.
There you go. Yes, yes.
And 4,000 little sisters. So it is a very nice,
Yeah, it is, yes.
when you need help, there's
Mhm.
with something, you can come in. When you're having a rough day, come spend some time here,
Yeah.
and it's a great day. There's just that I don't even know how to describe it. That I come out and hang out here. Some days it's like, do you need something? Yeah, sure. We have to talk about something, and I'll be here. But it's a nice place to be.
Yes, yeah.
And, everyone's very straightforward, honest here. I guess willing to help.
Yeah, it's true. And everybody is on the same wavelength, like we all do the same thing. My daughter used to refer to this as my happy place. Before I started working here, she said, "Oh, you're at your happy place again." Yeah, I used to hang out here before I started to work here.
Yeah.
Well,
and the downside is that we take advantage or take it for granted that everyone's going to be here and stuff.
yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, Cindy's an
Yes,
excellent
exactly,
example.
yeah.
She had such amazing classes,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, I'll take them a little bit later. I'll take them, and
Yeah,
then
don't wait.
yeah, don't wait.
Don't wait. Yeah.
Because you'll lose out on those kind of things. But I remember bringing in a quilt that I was just starting on, and and I showed Carol, and she loved Carol pieces and stuff like that. She was very honest with the quilt. She looked at it and she sat there, she goes, this is really good, but you need to, like this and this.
Yeah.
And so I got really good feedback and that I could add into my thing. And we will happily do that. We'll sit there and tell you what you're doing great and we'll let you know
Help
so
you
that
in other
help you
ways,
grow.
yeah.
I mean, that's one thing about classes that I enjoy doing. It's just, so it's so much fun. And it might be a little funny sometimes. Just a little bit.
That goes without saying. Anybody who's met Tom knows that that's, yeah, there's gonna be jokes.
I'm serious all the time.
Yeah, yeah, not.
I mean, serious when he needs to be.
Yeah. No one believes.
Nobody believes me.
That's
There's
right.
like nod ahead, nodding yes out there.
That's it?
Well, we have
We
one,
read- Oh,
yeah. I mean, the last.
oh, right,
Yeah.
yes. this
So
one was
this
fun.
is for all of us. Okay, so what colors or styles of fabric do you tend to lean towards for personal projects?
My fabric choices are picked, definitely based on the project, but more so. I want my thread to show. It doesn't matter, even back when I was doing garments, it was the buttons and the threads and things that showed, so it had to go. The fabric was chosen to go with the accessory. And with embroideries, the same thing. I want that thread to pop. I want that to be the feature of what I'm doing. And does even regular quilt, like just piecing the quilt and quilting it regular. Haven't done a lot of that lately, but that will be the theme as well. The thread has to be the feature for me. So the kind of the fabric takes second place to, even though I have a fabric addiction, the thread is the important part about what needs to show for me.
Making something for myself, it's probably blue or purple. But really when I do a project, most of them are for other people. So I have no problem working with pretty much any color. If I think something suits a person, then that's usually what I work with. But I like color, so, and I don't feel like I have a hard time putting colors together, so.
Do you need help putting colors together, Kerri?
Yes,
No.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can work with almost anything, but if it was for me personally, probably purple with a little blue, maybe some pink, but.
I like vibrant colors. Basically the main colors of the rainbow. But I like vibrant colors. I like texture to my prints, and I like them to be actual prints. I'm not big on solids or planes. I want texture to it. But I want it to be vibrant, and I want it to be crisp, and I want it to be clear. I don't like the muted, washed out look personally. But part of that's because it's going to be going in a quilt with straight lines. Stand up.
See, I like you, I'm not one for just plain, like Konas or whatever, just plain. I like the tone on tones or those ones with texture to it, but I'm not a big one with prints. Like, like
Well, you're
pumpkins or.
mainly doing embroidery on it, right? So you want the embroidery to stand out. You're not quilting it for just the sake of quilting,
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
So-
yes, but even like I was working on a table runner, just a quilted one and practicing that. And I had a hard time.
Supposed to run on the treadmill, not on the table.
I like to be different. I table dance too. He started it, okay?
Okay, all right, all right.
Even like, so I was trying to incorporate the pumpkin fabric into that. And I was having such a hard time because it was just too much. I was like, I like those kind of things. So it's something I need to work with, but I like the textured, those types of fabrics. And that's kind of pretty much where I like to go to.
And all these things, they come together and you get better as you experience things over time
Yes.
and work. Like I'm thinking back, we were talking about our original projects and stuff. When I started quilting, my first 3 quilts never became quilts because I seam ripped out so many times that I couldn't actually stitch it together anymore. There was no seam allowance left. And at that point, I realized that my brain had a standard that I was trying to achieve. My sewing skill was not at that standard. So I had realized I had to sew some stuff that I gave away, so I did never have to see it again, to build up the skill level. And choosing fabrics or working with fabrics in different techniques and different ways it doesn't just happen. It comes with practice. It comes with trial and error. It comes with getting help picking colors. It comes with getting help stitching different things. It
Yeah.
comes with working in different mediums and pulling it together. And that's where our goal is to be, as we've been discussing, a family-friendly, fun environment where you can come in a non-judgmental way and ask for advice or how you would do this or what do you think I should go there. And you take that advice and nobody will be upset if you take that advice and say, okay, but that's not for me.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
it
yes.
allows you to put it into your repertoire then for maybe a future project or to be thinking of things in a different way. And so hopefully everybody is growing and getting through a step at a time. And remember, you referred to being an expert periodically on certain things, but everybody started
We
at the
do.
basics.
Yeah.
Everybody started
Yeah.
with sewing AC somewhere.
Yes, absolutely.
And we all have times or ways to learn. Just going back with, learning from each other. So I don't know if you guys remember that one quilt that Kerri did with the hydrangeas on this side. I love that quilt. And so I went home and tried to replicate it. And it was very difficult to work with just because there was a lot of pattern fabric. And so it was very difficult different than what I would like, because I'm trying to put these patterns together and this pattern didn't quite look right together. And so it looks totally different than what hers. And Kerri's like, well, didn't you do it in order? No, because that order was driving me crazy because I didn't like this one with this one. And so it's all over the place. But at the end, I learned a lot. And is it something that will hang at a quilt show? Oh, heavens no, it's going in my bed under the dogs. But there was not because everything's under the dogs,
Yes.
like they're on my bed more than anyone else is. But I learned from it. I learned to work with those things. And that's why, as we work together, we share ideas. When we tell you guys, bring in your projects, let's, for, show and tell
Oh,
and
we love
yay
show and
you,
tell.
all those kind of things, if you're really happy with something and you bring it in, you can talk to us and maybe we'll sit there and put it up on the wall and show it off. Because we can't sew enough to keep the walls up there.
There's a lot of wall space.
There's a lot of wall space and we will happily show off what you do. And the upside is, I'm half out of the thing. The upside is it's far enough that if there's a few mistakes, no one can see them.
Yeah.
No one
that's
can
right.
see them.
We're not looking for them.
And we're not
anyway.
looking for them anyways, but it's, so bring in your projects.
Yeah.
Let us say,
Oh.
yay you, because you've succeeded in something, you've finished it, that and in itself. How many UFO projects do we have or UFO?
I got one I started for Walt. He died 15 years ago.
Okay, I don't quite feel so bad because I have a bunch, but not quite that far back. Actually, no, I do. I have one.
See?
Yeah, I do.
Shaded as much tomorrow as
That's-
you would yesterday.
I have Addie's quilt that I did that was a Barbie quilt. I think I did for her when she was 10. I didn't quite finish it. She's 30. Dang it.
Yes.
Okay,
I
we're
don't think she wants it now.
probably not. But we want to celebrate what you guys do. So bring them in, show us. If you're not sure, bring it in. Lots of us are willing to help and give you pointers on those kind of things.
Yeah,
As long as you can
absolutely.
accept knowing how many days till Christmas it is.
And when he tells us, I check. I have an app.
They didn't actually see that on the camera.
I know. Oh, I
There
check.
you go. She has an app, but it doesn't take into account daylight savings.
I know. He's caught me on that. He's caught me on that
Our
one.
app is wrong sometimes. Now it's correct. It's
Yes,
that daylight savings.
It is. Yes, yes. So that wraps up our
Does
very
anyone
first
have a
year.
question?
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry.
Did anyone? have-
Anybody?
Can I ask my original question?
No.
Yes.
Fire
Trying
away.
to remember
Okay,
what it
you
was.
can hear me?
Yeah, well, just ask it and we'll repeat it.
Okay, oh. Okay, is there any, I bought an embroidery machine,
Yeah.
sewing machine in the recent past 6 months.
Yes.
And my original thought, before buying my embroidery machine was, I wanted to learn how to make quilt labels. I'm learning a lot and I'm having fun with my embroidery machine, but I still haven't tried or attempted to make quilt labels. So my question is, would you consider a class in the future to make a quilt label but have embroidery incorporated into it, because I don't want to just write on the label.
Well, now that you've bought an expensive embroidery machine, a piece of fabric and a ballpoint pen makes a great label.
Okay, so when it comes to classes, okay, so we love feedback on what classes you guys would want. So will we have a class on that? We've got it written down. If we can find a teacher and we've got the people who are willing to take the class, we definitely will. And so we are looking at classes for the front or for the new year.
Okay.
So
If there are classes that you're looking for, certainly email in the request, okay? So coming up with classes is like coming up with what to have for dinner. There's the process of deciding what to have for dinner, and then there's the process of getting the groceries, and then there's the process of making it. Making it is the easiest part. Deciding what to have for dinner, that's the hardest part. What kind of class do people want, right? So if you have an idea, well, chances are if it's something you want to learn about, it's probably something that other people want to learn about, right? So bring that idea forward. Then getting the groceries, finding somebody who knows how to do that and can teach that. For example, if you wanted a class on putting zippers in replacement for pants, well, you're never going to find a teacher to teach that because people would rather make pants from scratch than replace the zipper. But because it's that, but finding that getting everything together, okay, that's the next process. So sometimes it can take a bit to find, if it's a specific thing, a teacher that will come to that particular store's location, because we have multiple stores, and knows how to teach that project. And then the final step, actually doing the class, that's the easiest part. But it's the idea first.
Yeah.
And then getting the groceries second, making the trip to the store, getting everything together to compile it. I like to work with anecdotes. So that's why we're on groceries. It's not cars today. So
So yeah, so if you've got some definite ideas,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, we're getting ready for our next year and we are looking for ideas. Like, what do you guys want to learn? Like, what are you willing, you know, because we've got a ton of ideas and we put classes in and, you know, we think we kind of know what you guys want. And sometimes classes fly, sometimes they don't, because what we think is great doesn't necessarily mean it's something you guys want to do. And so we use your feedback, and how quick we can get a class in really does depend on if we can find a teacher
Yep.
to teach it or knows how to do it. Me. I guess I'm teaching a class in the new year on yes, labels. And so, yeah, I mean, it's definitely when we will look at putting in the new year. So for that one. Any other questions? No?
questions, comments, moans of despair, wails of depression, jumps of joy, yips of glee.
All right. I
Okay,
think-
that kind of winds up. a
Yeah.
year.
So
Solve world hunger and tell no one.
Is that?
Quoted
Yes.
From the Grinch. A classic Christmas movie.
Oh, no, the Bishop's Wife. That's a classic Christmas movie. Okay.
So, yeah, so we look forward to another year
Absolutely.
of weekly doses. And we enjoy your guys' feedback.
Yeah.
We're having so much fun doing this. I mean, that even though someone didn't think she was gonna have fun.
Well, It was simply an idea. I didn't mean to input myself into the idea.
Maybe we've been doing it for a year, maybe we'll get serious about it.
Oh, maybe, okay, yeah, all right, I'll really get down to work on it.
We'd like to thank our audience for joining
Yes,
us
thank
today,
you.
and we'd like to thank
And
everybody for
who
their,
watched
yeah,
it, absolutely. yeah,
support.
Enjoy it,
and yeah.
Sorry, I'm so long-winded and made this long.
because maybe we will get a makeup trailer one day,
Ooh, and a wardrobe?
or a sewing machine of our choice.
Ooh. He did mention bonuses.
That's right.
Bank does not approve of this message.
It's It's recorded. He mentioned bonuses.
Okay. All righty, everybody.
Have
Thanks
a
for tuning in
great-
again. Bye.
Bye.